It seems today that social media is everywhere. Every day, millions of people log on to social medias. So if social media is so popular today, where did it start? And how did it become so popular? First, let's look at the social media that is probably the most famous as starting the trend, MySpace. MySpace was started in 2003 as a social networking revolution, with users being able to connect to others who shared similar interests. The site focused heavily on music and was extremely popular among the younger crowds. However, since the beginning of other social media such as Facebook, MySpace's popularity has plummeted. The next step in social media, and probably the most famous, was Facebook. Facebook began at Harvard University as a way for students to connect with each other and use features such as chat rooms and picture sharing. To many students, Facebook was a way to stay connected to their friends while being able to still focus on their school. The attitude has since changed into Facebook being one of the more distracting elements of modern technological life. Facebook has grown from its small community in the yards at Harvard to a global entity. In 2008, Facebook had 100 million users and as of March 2013 has 1.11 billion. The statistics for this year, 2014, are equally staggering. Facebook's number of monthly users is up to 1,310,000,000, with its average mobile users at 680 million. Every 20 minutes, about the time of this entire documentary, there will have been 1 million links shared, 2 million friends requested, and 3 million messages sent.
Facebook. My ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend wants to be friends. I accept so I can stalk your pictures. Haha, look at that picture of a cat. Cat's so stupid. Oh my god, I'm getting distracted. Oh my god, trying to get some work done.
While social media began on the computer, it has since moved itself into people's pockets. Some of the most popular forms of current social media are mobile-based. Apps such as Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest have found their way to the head of the social movement, Twitter being the most popular among them.
I went up and signed up for Pinterest. Try and stop me. You want to know what I pinned?
No.
Cats, kittens, kitty cats, oceans, food, eating food, cakes, making cupcakes, shows about cupcakes, hot guys, muscles, crafts, melted crayon pictures, shoes, stickers, health, running, sciences, spirits, talking lots with friends, horses, beaches, being honest, muffins, Starbucks, big sunglasses, potluck dinners.
Now the question is, with the possibility for so much information to be shared, how could this be a bad thing? The answer is quite simple. These social medias allow for both informal styles of language to thrive, but often encourage them. Take Twitter, for example. With so many tweets happening every single minute, you would think that people would have the ability to say everything clearly and effectively without any problems. Well, this is simply not true. The thing is that Twitter has a 140 character limit. This limit is not 140 words, not 140 letters, but 140 of any characters, including spaces, periods, and quotations. Anything that is at the disposal of the user to convey their message is limited to a mere 140. What this type of character limit is causing users to cut corners. They oftentimes intentionally misspell things or use acronyms to shorten what they are saying to fit their messages within the 140 limit. Eventually, they become acclimated to this style of writing and use these shortcuts even when the message is not very long. With these shortcuts, sentences take up only a few letters. Oftentimes, users don't even notice what they are writing and that it's incorrect. How much has technology like Twitter, Facebook, and texting affected your language personally?
For me, and my husband always makes fun of me for this, but when I text, I use correct English. Like I never shorten things like to you or you are. And if I've spelled something incorrectly, I'll go back and like retext for my friends to let them know I used the wrong to accidentally. So for me, I use it a lot to communicate with my parents, my siblings, my family, but I don't make those shortcuts. I can't bear to have like incorrect grammar in actual text, so I get made fun of, but whatever, it looks nice.
And then how do you see this technology affecting your students' language for the positive or negative effect?
In the positive way, I think they're reading more, so that's good. I like that they're reading, even though I went to a seminar and the reading isn't as deep, it's more surface level reading, so that kind of bums me out, but they are reading more, which I think is good. I would say texting really affects them with their writing. For the first time ever, a few years ago, I had a student write a paper and use the letter U in it and then SMH. And I was like, oh no, yes, SMH. I was absolutely horrified that that had happened, but I don't think it even occurred to some of the students to not use texting language. So I've seen it in their writing quite a bit, in a negative way. I do see it negatively affecting their language skills though. And I think a lot of it is because other people use language incorrectly on social media and they pick up on that because that's what you're seeing, that's what you're reading. So, in fact, the other day on Facebook, somebody had a grammar post and I couldn't bear or a post that had incorrect grammar on it, and I couldn't bear but not correct them. And I know that's such like a jerk thing to do and I felt terrible about it, but it just like ate me up that they had like very clearly bad grammar on a baby bib, actually, absolutely. So, yeah, for me, the grammar aspect of it is kind of heartbreaking. I'm glad there's reading more and things like that, but some of those mistakes get perpetuated more and more, and I think that's dangerous.
And how do you think this will affect the future?
I think it could go two ways. I can see it getting better or getting worse. Like I said, I think it's cool they're reading and things like that, so I think that's better. But at the same time, if we don't start, I think if they see the way each other are writing and really pick up on that, we're going to lose that like really solid writing skill that we all spend so much time to build up. So as an English teacher, I'm scared in that regard. But I think it can be used for the future. I think there are aspects of it that can be beneficial if we learn how to utilize it all correctly.
The other form of media that is causing problems with people's language is texting. The amount of people who text is astonishing. As of January 2013, 98.7 million people in the United States are active text messengers. Out of 100 11th grade students that took a survey at our high school, 92% admitted to texting on a daily basis. Texting is even more problematic to the way that people communicate. Texting is so appealing in today's world because of its ability to increase the speed at which people communicate. Why call someone to ask what their plans are if you can spend much less time and send them a text? This aspect by itself does not seem all that bad on the surface. However, in reality, this is the main reason behind all the negative effects of texting. If texting offers the ability to communicate faster, why spend the time to write out the entire message? Why not take shortcuts? Many times, these shortcuts are the cool way to speak and communicate, and those who do not use them are out of the social loop.
Texting is an art form, and as you can tell by these mind-blowing stick figures, I'm pretty good at art. So guys, if you meet a girl and you get her phone number, that first text that you send to her, do not give up all the power. Oh my god, you are so gorgeous. I am so glad I met you. I had an amazing time. The heavens opened up. Champagne rained down from the sky. I really hope we can do it again sometime. Do not send that text. You could text for the sake of texting and send something like, whoa, it got randomly hot today, right? Yeah, you're asking a question, but that setup doesn't really lead to too many engaging responses. What you could say instead is, yo, ridiculously hot today? Wanna grab some ice cream? And if a girl turns down free ice cream, she's either an alien or racist, or both. Give your text purpose, but every text shouldn't be, yo, when we gonna chill? Yo, when we gonna chill? Yo, what you doing today? Yo, yo. You wanna hang out? Your average texts are these massive walls of words longer than the airport runway at the end of Fast and Furious 6, and her average text is one line. There's a problem. Make sure y'all are matching sizes.
So what does texting and social media exactly do to harm language? In essence, they are blurring the lines between formal and informal styles of speech. It all comes down to the way that everyone's brains learn. As you grow up, your brain learns to distinguish between formal and informal types of speech. Young children will oftentimes speak to their friends, peers, parents, and teachers in the same way. For them, there is only the informal style of speech. They just simply have not learned any other way to speak. They have not learned the nuances of language yet, and in most cases don't even know that there is any other way to speak. To demonstrate this, we interviewed a few boys ages 9 to 10 and asked them about their speech.
Hi, my name is Adam.
Hi, my name is Miles.
Hi, my name is Luke.
My name is Peter. I'm Jaden.
Hi, I'm Jason and I'm 10 years old.
So Jason, do you talk more casually and more formally with different groups of people like your family and your friends and your teachers?
My answer is yes.
Well, Basically, almost.
Adam, do you use slang more with your family, friends, or teachers?
I use it more with my friends, my parents, relatives.
But with like all those little text messages, like
It's hard to explain.
oh my gosh,
When I'm talking to like someone at school, I talk casually.
Do you talk more casually or more formal with some people? How?
Around my friends, I'm a bit more goofy and not so much mature.
when it comes to family, as well as anyone older or has more respect than you have to talk more formally, calm, and you have to wait till you get to your friends to use more slang.
As any adult, I sometimes talk about school and try and be more mature.
I mean, like, I can't, like, tell the exact differences, but
I think you should be able to use more slang with your friends or your younger cousins.
Perfect.
Say the exact same words to my friends and family.
Thanks. You're done. We then asked people from other age groups ranging from teenage to adult to see how they talk to different people.
I'm Jared. I am 17 years old. When I talk to my parents and teachers, I say yes ma'am, yes sir, I'm polite with them. When I'm talking to my friends and people I'm used to, I say that, and I'm more casual, like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Like, I'm not as formal as I am with parents and teachers.
My name is Brian Howell, and I'm really old. When I talk to my family, I'm much more casual than when I talk to my clients and my coworkers. With them, I'm much more likely to say yes sir or thank you, and probably don't do that near enough at home. So.
This is where these types of medias become a problem. When someone uses social media enough to learn the style of language that is so plagued with improper grammar, spelling mistakes, and shortcuts, their brain learns that the style of speaking is the most effective way to communicate. While this may be true for communicating with friends and in very informal settings, it can become hazardous to the language in formal settings such as work or school. The second problem that comes with these medias in regard to the difference between formal and informal speech is that oftentimes these styles of speech go unnoticed by the users. What this really means is that the users are more likely to notice the use of the language styles as improper when observing other people than with themselves. And if students have become acclimated to speak with such broken language, what is to stop them from unconsciously writing in this style? Terry Thaxton, a University of Central Florida English professor who runs a summer camp, noticed that students who took the writing camp oftentimes had problems writing in a strictly formal style. A report published in 2010 by Clarion University shows social media and text messages are, quote, consistently associated with the use of particularly informal written communication techniques, along with formatting problems and grammatical errors. To find out if the problem was really happening, locally we interviewed a local teacher and asked what they had experienced on the subject.
Well, technology changes everything. I mean, it's actually pretty amazing just the way technology has influenced the development of language throughout history. You can look as far back as papyrus being invented in ancient Egypt, all the way up to the printing press and the internet, and it's really pretty cool. It's affected me personally, I guess, just because I feel lucky to be part of the generation that came up right when the internet was being proliferated. And so, my parents had never had it before, but I was growing up, I know I'm going to sound like a total nerd, but I was growing up like reading the first online encyclopedias and that sort of things, and I thought it was just amazing. And just easy access to information allows language to change so much more quickly because we're always communicating with each other, and now it's as fast as the speed of fiber optics, which is just really, really incredible. I would remember when Googling became a verb. back in whenever I was in high school, I guess, or middle school, which makes me feel a little old, and all that sort of stuff. So in our day-to-day lives, it's really, affected all of us, I imagine, or at least that's how it's affected me. Even just look up what happened in November of 1857, which is, I think, when the Sultanate's expedition into Algeria got hit with the sandstorm. I don't remember. But the technology is cool, right? And you learn stuff. How it's affected my students. Definitely a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. And it's really been fascinating to watch, because I thought my generation was the internet generation. And now I see you guys. And I realize that I feel like a Luddite, which is like a religious sect of people who have no idea what technology is. That's how I feel looking at some of my students. Just the way they interact with it is so natural. As far as how that influences their language, I guess I would say that. I guess first I have to say that there's a lot of teachers, a lot of older generations, who think that texting and such is really ruining our ability to communicate, ruining your ability to communicate. And I disagree with that. I know we see things like using the number 4 for the word for and that sort of thing. But honestly, language has been changing throughout the entire course of human history. So I've seen it affect my students in that capacity. You all think differently than I do, and that ability to access information, that instant gratification thing, has definitely kind of shaped your generation as far as like what you need and what you want and that sort of thing. But the cool thing about it is there are still great writers being generated. 2 days from now, I have a meeting with a couple of really fantastic poets who go to this school who I think are doing amazing work. Poetry is still alive. Novels are still alive, and anyone who thinks that writing is dead needs to take a look at the internet to realize that humanity is doing more writing today than there has ever been in the history of humankind, which is really incredible. Tweeting may not be Shakespeare, it may not be Chaucer, but it's writing and it's human communication. For the future are that technology, of course, is going to continue to become a huge part of our lives, probably even more than it is now. As far as how it'll affect our language, I don't think we're going to devolve into like Newspeak, only having monosyllabic words and things like, we won't have the word bad anymore, we'll just have good and ungood. I don't believe that. Language is still rich. And I think as language trends toward chaos, with the proliferation of technology and how uncontrollable it is and how uncontrollable people are, language is going to continue to be adapted in billions and billions of different ways all the time. And it's just going to happen more and more. I don't think that entropy is something to be afraid of, though. I think it's something we should be excited about. I guess that's it.
With all of these things coming together, the trend for today's language does not look good. With social media becoming more and more popular, the types of language styles that they promote would seemingly become equally as popular. And unfortunately, there is seemingly no way to stop them. But there is a way to prevent them from being used on a personal level. This popular PSA from a Cinemark movie theater's message can offer a look at a possible solution. Much in the same way that texting distracts others when watching a movie, texting language can become a distraction during speech. It is up to us as individuals to recognize that this style of language is not appropriate in formal settings and should only be reserved for times when it is really necessary.